top of the stairs.
Where do I put the
If anybody would like to help Mr. Ragusa get pieces of his drums, I'm sure he would very much appreciate that.
I can put it in my
Hold on,
stuff.
we're gonna go to
I'm capable of putting it in.
one steps on the cord.
What?
Just say it like
Go
that.
ahead, thank you everybody.
Where should I put the music?
I can take the music if you don't want it anymore.
That reminds me, I got. Okay, cool. I got a big pile of stuff on here too.
Gloria, could you just grab a spare stand if you see one? Or anything like that?
They're the new Fuller ones.
You're going right up the stairs. Follow Jack right up the stairs. Just don't trip. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Keep taking off.
I told him, I'm like, are we ever going to do new stand tunes? He's like, I don't know cool music. I will help you. Dr. Tremblay,
These are our singers.
Isla. My hands, so
So Kyle, I should use any one of these in particular, or?
This is yours.
That's mine.
That one's not moving. These two will disappear
Okay, great.
when they're done.
All right, 153. We're on the nose. Good afternoon, everyone. Please join me once again in thanking the Fuller Alumni Band that joined us on stage today. And welcome to everyone. My name is Bob Tremblay. I'll be your Master of Ceremonies today. I also happen to be the school superintendent, and it's an honor to be here with all of you. We're going to get started now with our program. At this time, we'll be introducing the National Lancers, who are behind me at the McCarthy Lawn, and it's really an honor to have them with us today. It's an honor to have all of you with us today, and I'll be introducing more members of our program. At this time, I'd also ask our distinguished guest speakers if you'd make your way to the stage as well. And singing our national anthem. So we're going to have the Lancers do their demonstration right in front of the Fuller School. So if you're in that complex in the driveway here, you'll need to clear that space. There'll be horses coming your way. So you'll want to move out of that space on the apron of the school, which is where we'll have our ribbon cutting as well. There'll be plenty of time for photos later on. But again, clear that space on the roadway in front of the school to make way for our Lancers. After we have our Lancers come through, they'll post the colors behind the stage. And at that time, we'll have our national anthem performed by Isla Hernandez, Amelia Klippenstein, and Olivia Palmer. And then we'll get started with our program following that. I'm going to turn it over now for a moment to Bernardo Loriente to tell us a little bit about the Portuguese and Spanish interpretation that's available today.
Bom dia. Se você precisa tradução ao português, colocamos audífonos à mesa lá. Por favor, lembre-se de desligarlos e retornarlos depois do evento. Buenos días. Si necesita traducción al español, tenemos audífonos con interpretación simultánea en una mesa allí. Por favor, venga a recogerlos cuando quiera. Gracias.
Thank you once again, and please welcome our national Lancers, and welcome to the start of our program on this important and spectacular day as we do the ribbon cutting formal ceremonies for a brand new Fuller Middle School. Welcome.
so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Outstanding, outstanding. Great job. Hey, if I was on The Voice, I would have turned my chair around.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Thanks so much for coming this afternoon to share in this joyous moment with all of us. And before we get formalized with our speaking portion of the program, I want to just recognize some folks who are in the audience who made this project possible. I also would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge, even though I'm not a football fan, that you missed a 1 p.m. kickoff today. I am mindful of that, so I'm sure you'll be tuning in as time allows. So, pardon me. I also want to thank, there's a number of administrators of Fuller Middle School who are present and past who are here with us today. Also administrators from across the district who've joined us. I just wanted to acknowledge all of them. Former superintendent, also on our school committee, school building committee, Ed Gottgard is here with us today too. Welcome, Ed. Thanks for all of your work in the district. Framingham Educational Channel Television is here with us today. Certainly our architects, Jonathan Levy and his team, are here with us today. SMMA, our project management team, and Kinsitley Construction, who, by the way, for more than 800 days have completed this project without issue, without incident on the construction site. Congratulations to the three entities who made that possible. And just by a show of waving of hands, I'd like to recognize our school building committee. If you want to just wave, announce yourself out there. Thank you to all of you and for the time you've spent. I want to recognize the Fuller family who are all here with us today. Thank you to the Fuller family. David for performing on stage with our alumni band this afternoon. Thank you for being here. And the eldest, the patriarch of the family, who'll be speaking later on in the program. I also recognize the Danforth Museum for the Fuller display case and for the work they've done for us. We appreciate you. Sarah Bowers, who's our photographer, who's volunteered her time. Thank you, Sarah, for making that possible for us today. For Bernardo Loriente and our translations and interpretations team, who are making this event accessible to our families and to all who need it, and to so many others who've offered their support to make this project possible today. It's with deepest gratitude that I express to all of you for being here, to our state legislators, many of whom are on the lawn here and on our stage. Thank you for being here. And to all of the taxpayers of the city of Framingham who've made this project possible, and with the generous support of the Massachusetts School Building Authority, who's also with us representation today. Thank you all for making this day possible. It's my honor now. We'll have brief speaking engagement this afternoon, and then we'll do our ribbon cutting, which will be led by our students. We have a student in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade who will be cutting the ribbon of their school. So we'll be very happy to have our students celebrating with that today. But first, it's my pleasure to welcome the mayor of the city of Framingham, Dr. Yvonne M. Spicer. Mayor Spicer, please.
Good afternoon. I just want to say, first and foremost, what a glorious day it is. What a glorious building. I want to lend my thanks to our legislative delegation that is here with us, our Senator Spilka, Jack Lewis, Maria Robinson, and Carmen Gentile, that represents all of Framingham. Dr. Tremblay, I want to say thank you for your leadership over the years, and I appreciate you as well. School committee members, would you raise your hand? I know a number of you are here. Thank you for all of your dedication and commitment. Of course, the Fuller Building Committee. I got a chance, one of the first acts I had to do was reappoint that committee, and Mr. Miles made sure he reminded me I needed to do it quickly. The Massachusetts School Building Authority. This could not happen without you. We thank you. We thank you for being Framingham's partner in this work. And I know she's not here, but I'm going to give her lots of love. Our treasurer, Deb Goldberg, is an amazing woman who did nothing throughout my whole career but support where I am and what I'm doing. Consigli Construction, nice work, nice work. I've watched you. I'm glad we never had to stop work on this project. I know in other communities they did, but we kept going here in Framingham. Jonathan Levy, Architects. Jonathan and I had a great conversation about my joy and love of architecture. Something he didn't know was in my past, that I got a chance to teach architecture was one of the first high school assignments I had in Framingham. The project management team. Joel, you're absolutely amazing. The dedication and the commitment of everything you've done on this project. And we know, like any other municipal school building or any other building, nothing gets done without our amazing facilities and custodial team and buildings and grounds. So thank you for all of your work. And last but not least, the neighbors in this area that dealt with the construction, the noise, the vehicles, and all of the disruption. Thank you for your patience for the city of Framingham. A glorious day to celebrate progress. As Margaret Wheatley so eloquently stated, there is no power for change greater than a community discovering what it cares about. This was truly a full community effort, from the MSB process to the voters at the ballot supporting the debt exclusion, that enabled Framingham to access funds provided by MSBA. Just as it's a full community effort to make this project come to fruition, it will be the resource for all of our community beyond, including teachers, students, and administrators, in providing green spaces and other facilities that we can all claim as our own in this community. It is somewhere we as residents of Framingham can look around and see evidence of our community investment in itself and in its future. While this school is a salute to innovation, green technologies, it is also encompassing the importance of the sciences, technology, and the arts. It is an investment in Framingham, our city's future, in two senses. First, in our students who will use these spaces to learn, socialize, grow, and play. Second, to represent investment in our community facilities, which is the backbone of our civic and daily lives. In the words of Marion Elderman, the question is not whether we can afford to invest in every child, it's whether we cannot afford to invest in our children. This is an investment in our children. As a former educator, I know the importance of an environment that sets the tone for learning. I also know that the Fuller students will look around their new classrooms and know that the community of Framingham values them and their education and their future, that they are worth the investment, and that the most exciting thing of all, this becomes a new expectation in the city of Framingham. In closing, today I represent a new chapter. This represents a new chapter for Fuller Middle School families. And it is a testament of what can be accomplished as a community when we apply the principles of UJAMA, collective work and responsibility, to solve problems together, and of course, NIA, which means purpose, to build community of greater purpose and need. I want to thank you all for being here today.
Thank you, Mayor Spicer. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our not only our national lancers, but also the Framingham Police Department. Chief Baker's here with us today. Round of applause, if you don't mind, for all of our Framingham support. Thank you to the Highway Department, Department of Public Works, our Buildings and Grounds team, who've all been here making this event possible today. thank you very much. We had to close off the road, as you can imagine, to prevent people from interacting with horses on Flag Drive. That would have been an interesting problem to have to resolve amidst all of this. So thank you for having great attention to that today. It's my pleasure now to introduce the chairman of our school building committee, who's made the organization and the leadership of this building project come to life, whether in Zoom or in person. He's been able to make that happen through all those different forms of media. Please welcome to the stage, to the podium, Mr. David Miles.
Good afternoon, everybody. Glad to see you all here. As Dr. Tremblay said, I'm Dave Miles. I'm the co-chair of the Framingham School Building Committee. My co-chair partner and good friend Ed Gottgard is out there, and right behind him I see Charlie Sositsky, who was the original co-chair whose place I took a few years ago. A lot of people have been thanked already. I just want to add a couple things. You mentioned the consigli and JLA and SMMA. As he said, 800 days without an accident from consigli. Not being a construction person, you can't believe the level of detail and coordination that goes into doing something like this, not only putting a building up, but taking a building down. But even through COVID, through the whole pandemic, through when our steel supplier closed down for a month, when supply chain problems popped up, these people were so agile. I mean, we opened on time. I mean, it's a tremendous, tremendous achievement just to watch it. Honestly, it's just amazing the way it was done. So thanks to all of them. And, we were here a couple of years ago for the groundbreaking, 2019, I believe. So maybe less than 2 years. This project started, in some people's mind, Matt Tordai said in about the mid-90s, he walked through Fuller School and said, we need a new school building. That was 25 years ago, and here we are today. But it really started on, as Dr. Gottgard said, a cold December day in 2010 when the building and ground staff led a tour of the old Fuller building, including getting underneath the building to the crawl space. That was enough to convince anybody that we needed a new building. And really, props to building and grounds to keeping the old Fuller building open, safe, clean, operational for the past 25 years. It's really nothing short of miraculous. So thank you, building and ground. So along with that, like I said, we broke ground just a couple of years ago, but I'm going to run through just a little timeline here in the next 30 seconds, maybe 45. So in 2010, we took the tours. In 2011, the school department, I was on the school committee at the time, put in a statement of interest with the MSBA to get a new roof for Fuller for $4 million. And that was denied. And I want to thank Jack McCarthy for doing that, because if we had been approved and put a new roof on that building, we would never have replaced that building and have this brand new building here today. We would have spent $40–50 million renovating the old Fuller, so we'd have a pig over there with a lot of lipstick on it, fresh coat of paint, new windows, and a new roof. But we would have had an old building that really didn't accommodate the learning that students now require for now and for the future, which we have in this building behind you. So in 2013, we went through what's called a pre-feasibility study, which the MSBA requires. All kinds of studies, what it would cost, what we planned on doing, so on and so forth. And we were initially denied again by the MSBA, putting us through the paces. But finally in 2014 or 2000, can you read my dates here? 2015, May 2016, we were invited into the MSBA program. That does not mean they're going to give you anything. They're just inviting you in to prove that you deserve millions of dollars to build a new school. I hope I'm doing right by the MSBA. They have been great partners.
So good.
Okay, good.
I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you. He's behind me. Anybody just give me a heads up. So 2017 and 2018, we got $1 million from town meeting to undergo a feasibility study. We already did a pre-feasibility study. Now we're doing a feasibility study. And we're already 5 or 6 years into this process here. With $1 million, and there was an educational visioning group who kind of informed what a school building of the 21st century should look like. And eventually, the MSBA had to approve all the plans that we went through a process to do that. July of 2018, they approved our plan. October of 2018, MSBA approved. a grant of $39.5 million for Framingham. December of 18, the city voted more than 80% for the debt exclusion, has been mentioned. And in June of 2019, we had a groundbreaking. So just over 2 years later, we have a beautiful brand new building. So that's how it works. So building a school is certainly not an easy process. But you've heard a lot of people mentioned who helped out, votes of the city council and the board of selectmen before them, police department, fire department, checking all the safety stuff, conservation commission, planning board, all the meetings that the team had to go through to get this accomplished. It really is it's an amazing accomplishment. And as said, the only people who haven't been mentioned here is that I'd like to thank are the leadership, past, present, of the Fuller Building and the school department, the faculty of the Fuller School, staff of the Fuller School. This building is set to provide education, an educational experience for the young students of Framingham for the next 50, 60 years. Your children, your grandchildren, in some cases maybe your great-grandchildren are going to go to the school. And if Matt Tortai will still be here, he'll keep it going that long. So thank you all. Enjoy the day.
Thank you, David. Before I call the chairman of the city council to the stage, to the podium, just our city councilors, if you just give a hand wave. Thank you to our city councilors for being here today and for your support of this project and so much that you do in the city. At this time, I please welcome to the stage, to the podium, Mr. George King, Chairman, Framingham City Council.
Good afternoon. I would like to once again also recognize the city councilors are here, and also city councilors from our first city council, which was chaired by Dennis Giambetti, who was here, and that was actually the council that voted to appropriate the money for this school that stands behind you today. I think the mayor and Mr. Miles and Dr. Tremblay did a good job recognizing all the different people who had to come together to make this work. And it did. I mean, it's amazing. 2 years later, this beautiful building as it sits out there behind us. I can't help, and I was kind of interested in David Miles' little trip down memory lane and going back to the mid-90s about how the the old South High School, as I like to call it, which became the Fuller Middle School, was a little tired in those days. It stuns me to think back in the mid-70s when I went to the South High School. It was tired in those days, so I cannot imagine how tired it was back in 1995, and certainly 2 years ago when the kids who were in 8th grade here this year were in 6th grade at that school. So it was well needed replacement, and it happened. And we really have done a good job, I think, in Framingham historically with our facilities for middle schools. Looking again, if I give the years like I just did in the mid-70s to a lot of people, it sounds like the Stone Ages. A lot of the kids, it certainly seems like ancient history. To me, it doesn't seem that long ago. And when I went to middle school here, the middle school we went to was the Danforth building down on Union Avenue. Right, the Foley Middle School. Tracy Bryan, who also went there. No, actually, you went here though, Tracy. I think. Okay, you did. Okay, you did start there. Okay, I didn't know you were as old as I was, Tracy. So that's good to know. Thanks for telling the crowd. But anyways, so literally when we went there, the last year of the school, when I got out 8th grade, the last year of the school, you walked into that building. There was a fence around that building to avoid people being hit from the bricks falling off the building at that time. So that's what it was like, and. Obviously, there were no facilities. There was nothing there. There was a parking lot that we had gym class in and things like that. And it was replaced that year, and it was replaced with this building over here, which had its own interesting history as a middle school. It did not last too long as a middle school. So I think we finally have it right. Look at what we've built in recent years in this city. Looking at Cameron 10, 15 years ago, looking at this building, and Walsh has always been an excellent building. So I think our middle schoolers are well suited in the future, certainly here. And I appreciate that. I had the opportunity for about 10 years to be a middle school principal. It's a very, very important time in kids' lives, and I think that this school will add a lot to the education. So I would like to also thank everybody who was responsible for putting this together for this day that finally came to open this school and dedicate it to the children of the city of Framingham who are going to be able to use this for many years to come. So thank you for the opportunity to say a couple of words. Thank you very much.
At this time, I'd like to acknowledge members of the Framingham School Committee. If you just give a nice big wave, I think many of them are down here in the front. Thank you all for your support. At this time, I'll call to the podium Mr. Adam Freudberg, who's the chairman of the Framingham School Committee. Adam, please.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Tremblay, for all of your leadership. This school is more than just a middle school building. It is full of symbols and values. Symbolism is actually a word I think of with this project. I think of my time in middle school, and for me it was my middle school English classes when I first remember learning about symbolism. I enjoyed reading, yet it wasn't until those ages for me in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade when I realized that words in a book are often intended to mean more than just words. I remember 7th and 8th grade books like Lord of the Flies and To Kill a Mockingbird, and how my eyes lit up when I realized there was more than just the words to what those authors were looking for. They expressed what was important to them and what their priorities were. And in a way, this school does the same thing through symbols. The authors who put this school together focused on what mattered and what really matters and what we value going forward. We added more open space, protecting wetlands, adding solar roofs and canopies because we value the environment, saving money, and we value clean energy education. We added athletic fields and more learning and play spaces for art, music, theater, and gym. We added state-of-the-art ventilation systems, air conditioning, and heating. We named the theater after Chris Walsh, a leader in our community. We added all of this and so many more examples to ensure balance and equity, and we focus our efforts on what really matters for our community, our staff, and our students. And everything came together from what I think the theme of today will be, from how long it takes to build a school and the massive support system, many efforts coming from volunteers and staff who made this really happen. Those who were there at the beginning, who set the tone and led us to today, like Cheryl Tully-Stoll, Heather Connolly, Beverly Hugo, Ricky Finley, Dennis Giambetti, and town meeting for being proactive and saving money in a bank account just for the down payment of this building. The 2018 City Council and School Committee, who both voted unanimously to move everything forward. How often do you get every elected official in a city to vote yes on the same project? The MSBA and their rigorous process, the process that gave our residents confidence to fund this building. Novel Alexander, the school committee and school building committee member who thought I was taking him to the Red Sox 2018 World Series parade, but instead I diverted us to the MSBA office to help lock down funding. Yes for Fuller, led by Donna, Heather, Scott Wadland. Patrick Keyser, representing the mayor and signing every document, the hundreds of documents we asked him to sign, and he signed them without question to move the project forward. The architect team of Jonathan Levy, Philip Bray, and Elizabeth Bugby, Consigli, the South High alumni. What we have over there are some wonderful memories that you will never lose, but I also know it's a loss that the building is no longer there. But what you did to remember it and the decommissioning group really set the tone for a wonderful remembrance and grand celebration to continue the legacy. The Fuller family, the support staff behind the scenes, Joanna, Amy, Carol, Sarah, the list goes on and on. And where's Joel Seeley? Joel right there and Matt Tordai. I can't say enough about these two project leaders who together did so much work behind the scenes and made sure that this project was what we all wanted it to be. We also owe every single one I mentioned and more, their families. Think of all the time away from family. That it was all worth it, but it's very difficult. My family's over there, and they know how many meetings, both Zoom and otherwise, that this building took and the time it took to get this right. So I read this long list of names too because they're also symbols, but they're symbols of very good people with very good intentions who made this all possible. Together, we were all part of that historic vote. That vote was a 2018 moment I call Framingham's coming together moment. The moment has led to this building, a building that if you think like me will never just be a building. It has a story, one that's taken off and will be here for decades to come. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Adam. I'd like to acknowledge some of our educational partners. First here at Fuller, Lisa Coliandro, Mike Stevens, our administrators who are here. Thank you for all that you've done to prepare for today, but also preparing for the transition to this new school. Thank you so much for all that you do for our kids. Also, educational partners, I see Dale Hamill here. I saw Javier Ceballos here. David Podell may be here as well. So if I've missed educational partners who are in our community, my thanks to you for your ongoing support and friendship. At this time, I'd like to introduce Ms. Carrie Wood, principal of Fuller Middle School, to say a few remarks. Carrie, before I do, though, as you come to the stage, to the podium, Can we hear from the Fuller students out there with a nice big scream of excitement for your new school? Is anybody here from They're all inside preparing for the tours later. That's what it is. So we want to thank all of our students for whom all this is about today. And so none is more about students in our work than the school principal here. Carrie Wood, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here on this beautiful day. At the core of Fuller Middle School is a sense of pride and unity in our diverse community, where students are innovators and architects of their own learning and their own futures. 4 years ago, stakeholders, including community members, our students, and our faculty, crafted the vision statement over the course of a year. It was designed to embody our community's vision and hope for Fuller Middle School and for all of its students. This is the vision statement that we begin all our faculty and student meetings with. It allows us to center ourselves, and it reminds us of what it means to be a member of Fuller. If you've ever read one of my weekly Fuller family newsletters, you'll see the same vision statement front and center. This vision has become a part of who we are as an educational community, and it shapes the decisions we make. And the new Fuller Middle School, the building behind you, is a brick and mortar embodiment of this vision. The unity that we strive to create between all sectors of our school community is enhanced by the way students and faculties physically move around the school. The physical structure of the building requires us to see each other and to interact with people outside of our own grades and maybe aren't even in our classes. People who we would never see or connect with in a traditionally designed school are now available for us to see and interact with daily. The large glass windows and open collaboration spaces allow for glimpses into the work that our students and our faculty are engaging in every day. This creates a sense of unity and appreciation for each other. We've always known that we have the best faculty and students at Fuller, but now we have a building that mirrors how we, as a community and a city, feel about them. The new school embodies that pride, and I believe the students feel the pride of Framingham, that Framingham has in them. In some ways, the new school is a love letter to the students of Fuller from the city. I'm a firm believer that the budgets and fiscal decisions that a city makes are a moral pact that expresses the values of a community. When the city of Framingham voted to support the building of a new Fuller, the community was expressing its belief in the students of the school. The community was clearly stating that all children in our community deserve to learn in an environment that is beautiful and conducive to learning. This faith in our students and our faculty allows us to develop a sense of pride in ourselves. I hope that in a little bit you'll be able to join us for student-led tours in our new building and see for yourself what innovative learning looks like and how a space can embody the spirit of a school. Before closing, I would like to thank all of the students, my administration, the faculty, families, caregivers, community members, and leaders, and partners who are here today to celebrate and commemorate our new Fuller building. I would also like to thank everyone here from Consigli Construction, from SMMA, and Jonathan Levy Architects. You've been truly collaborative partners these past 5 years. Honestly, I'm a little glad that there's still work to be done in the building because I'm not looking forward to the day that you leave. Finally, I would like to welcome the Fuller family, who serve as an inspiration to our students and our school community every day. Dr. Solomon Fuller and Mrs. Meta Fuller, for whom our school is named, have shown us through their professional and personal lives how science and art can live together. It is their strong roots that have created the foundation of our new school. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. Indeed, it wouldn't be possible today to celebrate without the namesake of the Fuller family. We're delighted, as I mentioned before in my earlier introductions, to have the Fuller family here with us. One more time, if you don't mind waving, to show us. Thank you all for being here, for sharing your art, your talent, and your family with us. At this time, I call to the podium Dr. John L. Fuller to say a few remarks on behalf of his family as the patriarch of the Fuller family. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Fuller.
Good afternoon. I am the eldest grandson of Meta Warwick Fuller and Dr. Solomon Fuller. I'm so pleased to be invited to say a few brief words on behalf of the family, many of whom are with us right here today. The Fuller Middle School, first established in 1994, now has an educational and learning laboratory second to none. To all the city officials and educational leaders who have worked so hard to make this project a reality, I say to you, job well done. This school was named in honor of two outstanding members of the Framingham community. Their accomplishments and in their respective fields is well known. Students, you have the opportunity to excel just as they did. Take advantage of all the learning opportunities that this magnificent school provides. Your teachers are preparing you with all the tools which will enable you to succeed here and beyond. Here are some thoughts I'd like to share with you. Each day when you enter this building, say to yourself, today is a great day to learn something new. And finally, I say to you, if you think you can achieve, then you can. Best wishes to you all, and keep the school spirit high. Go Falcons. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Dr. Fuller. For everybody who's watching from home, by the way, you may or may not be aware this is a live streamed event. So to all of you back at home who may be watching today who are not joining us in person, we're hoping you're enjoying this ceremony. We'll be preparing also a virtual tour for families at home, and there's more to be seen. So after the remarks today, after the ribbon cutting, there'll be an opportunity for all of you to enjoy not only the inside of the school and some student-led tours, also meeting with folks from the decommissioning table. If there's a relic from Framingham South, maybe a locker number that you had in mind that you can remember, that might be available to you. But also having a chance to have fellowship with the Fuller family who will be inside as well. So there's a lot of opportunities to network after the remarks today, and I hope you'll take advantage of that. Many of these projects can be funded fully out of our pockets, but it's also nice when somebody helps to pay the bill. And the Massachusetts School Building Authority is that organization that helps so many schools, and we're fortunate to have been supported by the MSBA. So, Mr. Jack McCarthy, I'd like to call to the podium to say a few remarks. Now, Jack, I know you've been to a lot of these in your career. Not all of them have horses, though, and alumni bands that play, and a beautiful lawn like this. So I hope you'll join us today in celebrating, and thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to be with us. Please welcome Mr. Jack McCarthy from the MSBA, Executive Director.
Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of Treasurer Goldberg and the rest of the Mass School Building Authority, thank you so much for allowing us to be part of this celebration. You know, the mission of the MSBA is to partner with Massachusetts communities to support the design and construction of educationally appropriate, flexible, sustainable, and cost-effective public school facilities. And this facility exceeds that ideal. Benjamin Franklin once said, "An investment in education pays the best interest." And we at the MSBA are proud to be your investing partner to the tune of about $39 million. I know that you have a great legislative delegation, and I know you know that. But I just want to, say hello to Maria Robinson, Carmen Gentile, Jack Lewis, and Senate President Karen Spilka. I mean, this is quite the rock band. And like every rock band, though, there's a lead singer, and the Senate President is the lead singer of this rock band. You know, even with all her responsibilities that she has as Senate President, she knows everything that's going on this project and all the projects in her district. It's amazing to me how she can keep up with all of that, and I really just want to thank you for your leadership. You know, Superintendent Trombley did make mention of the Patriots game. So they are losing 14-3, so you should be thankful you're here right now. Everyone thanked and recognized all the great consultants that you folks have here. But I want to thank and recognize David and his committee and the past chairman, because they're the ones who selected those consultants. They're the ones who selected SMMA as the OPM, Jonathan Levy, my friend, as the architect, who, again, has, you know, just blew my mind when I walked through that school. So unbelievable. And I don't want to forget Consigli, who, you know, everyone's like happy, oh, this is on time, on budget. I'm not surprised at all, because that's what those three groups do for us all over the Commonwealth. So, David, congratulations to you and your group for picking those great consultants. I always like to close with this, this little quote, and it kind of lets you know how we at the MSBA feel about what we do. So Dan Valentine was a reporter for the Salt Lake City Tribune, and he once described a school as a building of 4 walls with tomorrow inside. And we at the MSBA are proud to be part of Framingham's tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Jack, for being with us today and for the support of the MSBA on behalf of the city of Framingham. Thank you, Representative Robinson, Representative Lewis, for being with us. Representative Gentile, I don't believe he could join us today. He sends his best and warmest regards. Certainly in this work, we are truly blessed in the community to have Senate President Karen Spilka not only here on the stage with us, but available to us as one of the most accessible leaders in politics I've ever met. I think she's a real fan of Framingham, personally. I know you have all your constituents, but I really think that your personal favorite is Framingham. So we thank you for that support. I said that when we did the naming of Harmony Grove. I said no superintendent, has a favorite school. And no parent has a favorite child, at least not that they'll admit that. But I did admit that Harmony Grove was my favorite of the 15 schools. And so my favorite Senate president is here on stage today. So President Spilka, please welcome. And thank you so much for your unending support.
Thank you. I am the only Senate president, so it's a little easier, I have to say. Get them off the hook. It's really exciting, very exciting to be here today. I have to tell you, on my way to and from my home, and especially heading into Boston, if I had any excuse to go past this school construction site, I did. It was amazing, and I get the goosebumps, actually, to see it coming up, going to the original beam signing. That was 2 years ago. That's hard to believe. And coming along and watching it go up brick by brick, and to see it today, what a beautiful testament to the city, to our kids, and to our future. So congratulations. I'd like to acknowledge Mayor Yvonne Spicer, City Council Chair George King, and the other members of the City Council, present and past, as was acknowledged. They had a role to play in this school as well. I want to thank Brigadier General Richard Reel, my good friend Ed Carr, and the rest of the National Lancers who joined us today to help make this celebration the event that it deserves. What a special event to have the Lancers come here today. I'd also like to acknowledge my colleagues and dear friends in the legislature, Representative Jack Lewis, Maria Robinson, and acknowledge Carmen Gentile. We work as a team, and we all helped move this along and help move Framingham along. So we're proud to be Framingham's representatives in the legislature. In my career as a legislator, I have found that making a difference so often requires perseverance. And as David Miles went through the history and others have gone through the history, it's clear we acknowledge if you're a public servant and you're trying to get something done, it often involves perseverance. And I began helping and working with rebuilding the Fuller Middle School, like so many of you out here, so many years ago. And during that time, like every project needs, an incredible group of people joined this effort. Parents, teachers, administrators, school committee members, advocates, even students talked about the need for a new school, not only in Framingham, but beyond. In particular, I would like to extend my deepest appreciation to our very, very dedicated and I think fabulous education community, including Superintendent Bob Tremblay and, where is he? Oh, okay. Oh. And the previous superintendents as well. Thank you. School Committee Chair Adam Freudberg and other school committee members past and present, current Fuller School Building Committee Chairs David Miles, Ed Gotgut, as well as former Fuller School Building Committee Chair Charlie Sizitsky, and the members of the committee for all of your hard work, as well as Fuller Principal Carrie Wood and her terrific and dedicated staff. Even when the roof leaked, and you heard about that notorious roof, even when the roof leaked or the window shades cracked from the sun, the learning inside the Fuller School remained top-notch. That's because you, the faculty and staff of Fuller, have remained dedicated to your students and their success, no matter what. I also wish to extend my deep gratitude to Treasurer Deb Goldberg and Executive Director Jack McCarthy. Yes, you can clap for his great team at the Mass School Building Authority for approving this project. It took a little time, but you see the project and it was well worth it, and joining us in celebration today. I cannot stress enough the significance of the role of the School Building Authority that it has to Framingham and to all of our cities and towns across the state. Partnering, and that is a key word, partnering and funding of this much needed school. Simply put, without the MSBA, we probably would not be here today, so thank you. And a very special shout out to the family of Meta Warwick Fuller, a world-renowned sculptress, and I do want to note that she is featured in my office, the Senate President's office at the State House, as part of my Her Story project, and Dr. Solomon Carter Fuller, a pioneering neurologist and psychologist. We're so glad that you could join us. Thank you. Thank you. Like its namesakes, the Fuller Middle School and its students are creative, innovative, strong in character, and able to overcome barriers in the pursuit of their studies and crafts. Like so many current and former Fuller students, Dr. Fuller was an immigrant, settling a few blocks away after coming to the U.S. The students that you see here today performing in the band and guiding the tours that hopefully you will be taking soon throughout this building are tomorrow's artists, scientists, change makers, and our leaders. In so many ways, they are the best and the brightest among us, and it is our duty to give them the educational support they deserve to build the future that they desire. As Horace Mann, and I want to thank Jack McCarthy for mentioning another prior constituent, Ben Franklin from Franklin. Horace Mann was from Franklin as well, actually. So I like to quote both of them, too. I'm glad I selected Horace today. The father of our public education system said, "Education, then, beyond all other devices of human origin, is the great equalizer of the conditions of men, the balancing wheel of the social machinery, the cornerstone of our community and our democracy." So thank you to everyone who is helping to make this great cornerstone here today of our education and school possible. Thank you very much, and I do just want to acknowledge I have a legislative citation for the building committee. You want to just come up? It's for the Fuller School Building Committee in the joyous occasion of the grand opening of the Fuller Middle School, with gratitude for your dedicated and successful efforts to serve the students of Framingham, and it's from your entire Framingham delegation. Congratulations. Thank you. I'm going to close it so it doesn't blow away. I've done these a few times. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Senate President, and thank you to all our speakers. A big round of applause, if you will. I would like to turn our attention now to the front of the building, where we will be proceeding with the ribbon cutting ceremony, led by 3 Fuller Middle School students, Guilherme Alves dos Santos, Ana Carolina de Silva Perez, and Igor Faria Silva. Preceding this event, please feel free to take photos of the building, both inside and out, and participate in a student-led tour. Here to the ribbon cutting.
2, 3.
Congratulations.
We really appreciate it.
Always good to see you. Thank you. Dr. Spicer, how are you? Good to see you.
Congratulations. Well done.
Yeah, nice job.
Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
Thanks for this. That was a surprise. Who was that?
Thank you, Kyle. Well done. Thanks.
Mãe, eu tô te esperando.
Hello, my name is David Fuller, and I'm the grandson of Dr. Solomon Fuller and Meta Vo Warwick Fuller. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to represent the family on this historic day of the opening of the Fuller Middle School on the 26th of September. In the mid-90s, we were notified that the town officials had voted to name the Flag Drive Middle School the Fuller Middle School after my grandparents. And I remember my sister Pat said they had never come to that quick conclusion of any topic that quickly. So it was unanimous. And the administration and the town officials said, yes, without a doubt, it should be named the Fuller Middle School. The family was, ecstatic, and we all got together and decided that we would all try to attend that event. It was in the mid-90s, and we were in the auditorium because my siblings and I all went to that high school when it was the high school, Framingham South High School. And it was a great opportunity to see what the kids were doing and how excited they were in this renamed school that we were familiar with. I think the highlight for us was addressing the students, and my father, Solomon, who was the son of my grandparents, obviously, he was able to talk to the students about his experience in Framingham and how the history and legacy of his parents should be passed on. And he asked the students, what is your legacy going to be? I remember that very clearly. But my cousins were there, my brothers were there, my sister, and a lot of relatives were there in the auditorium on that historic day. And it was in the mid-90s, but it seemed like yesterday. My grandmother's artwork was on display in the library, and it was a dynamic presentation by the family, and I believe these kids will never ever forget that, because it was the first group of students that attended the new Fuller Middle School. And now here we are in a new building. When we heard that they were going to build a brand new building, of course everybody was excited, but also had a little apprehension because we were so used to that building over there. And as I look at the building over there, which is being demolished, there were so many memories. But I think the main thing was that the family wanted the building to really impress upon people that the legacy of my grandparents and the mission of the new school would be something that they would always remember. So it's not just the building, it's what goes into the building. And I was confident that the staff, the faculty, the administration would do a great job with the kids, because this is a very diversified school, and there's a lot of kids that would never ever be able to see a brand new school like this in their lifetime. But guess what? It's happening, it's going to be here, and they're part of that legacy. And I hope that my family and I continue to be supportive of the mission of the school, and I sincerely hope that my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren one day, will be able to come and visit the school on a regular basis. We're so proud. Words cannot even express how proud we are. And as you see, this building is majestic, and it's something that I know my grandparents would be proud of. One of the discussions that has been talked about was how the community and the school can create a partnership. And one of the things that strikes me, and so clearly, is that my grandmother was so prominent in the community in support of the men and women during that time, when, as a African-American couple, it was not easy for them to live on Warren Road and to experience a life of bliss, because during that time there was so much discrimination. However, they were overachievers in many, many ways, and brilliant in so many ways. But their greatest talent was community partnerships and the relationships that they developed with people in the community. And that really sustained them and nurtured them and fed them in so many ways. So to hear that this school is not only going to be a place of learning, but will be used as an opportunity for people in this community to enjoy not only this building, but a little of the historic content of the building, is something that resonates to our family so clearly, because that's what my grandmother really wanted, to have that connection with the community. As my father used to tell us, as you get older, and I'm there, one of the great joys of getting older is that you start to embrace people more, and you see the love and the humanity in more people as you get older, and you see things more clearly. And when I look back at my grandparents, they did that. They embraced not only professional careers, and they had wonderful careers that were international careers, but they embraced the Framingham community and developed those partnerships and relations. And to see that the community is going to take part in this building so clearly shows me that that mission will be accomplished and that legacy will continue forever. One of the highlights of the 26th in the opening will be a display. I believe it's going to be in the foyer, at the beginning of the building as you walk in, and working with the committee that decided what would be appropriate to put in a permanent basis. There's going to be some highlights of the career of my grandparents. There's going to be some artwork, giving examples of the styles that my grandmother used and made. There's also going to be a new piece of art that my brother Mark, who's an artist, an original piece, is going to be displayed and hung. And it's the profile and caricature of our grandparents. And he did a wonderful job. And that's going to be a highlight. And that's going to be permanent. So that when people walk in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, they'll be able to see that display. And it's user-friendly for middle school students. The information on the poster boards and the display, talking about every child has an opportunity to excel and to believe in themselves. That's going to be the message. The highlights are important of what they achieved, but the message is clear. You can achieve the same thing if you work hard and do what you have to do to be a good student and especially be a good person. So that's going to be the emphasis and the direction of what we're trying to do for that display. And also to see these people of color, that when you walk in, you know that this building respected, identified, and truly embraced an African-American couple who were people that achieved despite all the obstacles, and their legacy will be here forever. At this time, I want to say thank you to everybody that is participating in this wonderful event. The highlights on the 26th will be forever remembered. The family is so proud, and we thank everybody involved. There's too many people to name, but if you look at the building, you know a lot of people decided to work with us to make this thing happen. So we just want to thank you. We appreciate all the support. Thank you for the city of Framingham and everybody that has an opportunity that has seen this today. And we thank you so much and enjoy.
Hi, my name is Carrie Wood. I'm the principal of Fuller Middle School, and I'm here today to talk about a time capsule that we're going to be putting into the new Fuller Middle School to commemorate all the work that we did as we decided to build this building and all the things that were happening in history while we were doing this. In the Fuller Middle School time capsule, we're going to have a number of items. Last spring we took a survey of students and asked them what they thought should be in there. Some of the things that they thought we should include were certain timeline items. So for example, the groundbreaking ceremony poster, because it really did commemorate a really important time in the building of the school. We also have a map of the school that shows the old Fuller Middle School as well, so that people 30 years from now will really understand better what actually existed in this space prior to that. The students also thought it was important that we include an historical piece because we're living through a very historical moment right now. So we have our Fuller Falcon face mask that represents what we're living through. An additional item that we're going to be including in the time capsule is information about the Fuller family. The Fuller family is extremely important to us at Fuller Middle School, so we want to make sure that we commemorate them and make sure that they're a part of this time capsule as they are a part of our school every day. We're still looking for some items to add to our time capsule at Fuller Middle School. If you have any suggestions or ideas of what we could add that we want people 30 years from now to see about our life now, take a look at the link below me and go ahead and make some submissions. Thank you. I want to thank you for taking this time with me. My name is Carrie Wood. I'm the principal of Fuller Middle School, and I hope that someday you'll be able to come and visit us and see this beautiful building, and hopefully some of the children who are in it learning and growing every day. Thank you.